Hello my darlings and welcome to my monthly wrap up where I talk about my month of July. I read a ton of books and watched a huge amount of films, and that is because when I have poor physical or mental health, or I just feel like life is kicking me in the gonads, books and films are my coping mechanisms. It's how I cope, and I needed to rely on it a lot this month. Good news is I don't think I will need it as much next month. I'm feeling much better now and like things have settled down. But yeah, I watched a lot, I read a lot, and without much further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to start with movies. What did I watch? So let's go. I watched Call Me By Your Name. So this is about Elio, who is a teenage boy who develops feelings for Oliver. Oliver is his father's temp assistant, and although their relationship is also temporary, Elio realizes his sexual orientation and tries to, I guess, come to terms with it. It's very coming of age. I enjoyed this movie. I gave it a 4.5 stars. There was a little sound in the movie and I'm like, Nathan. But it is beautifully shot. It is set, was it Italian or French countryside? Fuck, I've forgotten now. But gorgeous sceneries and locations. I loved learning about etymology and also about art. Elio's relationship with his parents was really lovely and touching. Chalamet was a baby in this. Oh my God. So that is the issue I had. It's why I never watched it originally. As soon as I found out that his character is 17, and the male character that he has an affair with is 24. Back then I was like, no, don't want to, thank you. I just have the ick with anything under the age of 18. I will say though, it's harder to watch because the actor who plays, oh my God, why can't I remember his name? The cannibal actor. Oh, Army. Army looks a lot older than 24, my guys. It looks like a 30-plus-year-old man. So watching a 30-plus-year-old man get it on with a 17-year-old boy was a bit like, ugh, ugh, ugh. But it's very horny. It is about first loves and heartbreak. It was giving 1980s nostalgia real bad as well. Now, are the characters bi or are they just closeted gay? I wasn't entirely sure. This movie also did remind me of another movie. I think it was called I Am Love with Tilda Swinton. It had similar vibes. But yes, it was a beautiful film, so 4.5 stars. Then I watched Masters of the Universe. This is about the Sword of Power, and it leads Prince Adam. Okay, so it starts with Prince Adam on his home world as it is conquered by Skeletor, and his mother, in an attempt to save him, sends him to Earth with the sword. Unfortunately, him and the sword get separated whilst falling to Earth, and he's had to just acclimate to regular human life, working an office job, trying to relocate the sword so he can get back to his home. Luckily, he ends up being found by his former childhood friend Tila and the former man-at-arms, and he finds his way back to his planet to embrace his role as He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. I never watched He-Man as a child. I did watch She-Ra. I loved She-Ra. And I watched the new animated show She-Ra with my daughters, and they all loved it as well. It's super queer. I believe He-Man is het. I gave this a 3.5. I didn't like the voice they used for Cringer. I just don't feel like it suited. This was, you can tell, meant to be humorous, but I felt like a lot of the jokes just didn't land. It's just a fun popcorn movie. So 3.5 stars. Then I watched I Love Boosters. So this is about professional shoplifters who embark on this absolutely wild, surreal adventure as they target a cutthroat fashion mogul. This is an absurdist crime comedy. I've never seen any of this director's movies before. There is a what cunnilingus scene that was something. I absolutely love the use of color in this film. I loved the fashion in it. It's just weird and odd and quirky and something I haven't seen before. I gave it a 3.5 stars. Then I watched Promising Young Woman, which I have seen in the past and I hadn't watched since then, and I wanted to refresh my memory. This is about Cassie, a young woman who takes it upon herself to seek revenge for her best friend, Nina, who committed suicide after being raped at a party by one of their medical classmates, Elle Munro. So this is by Emerald Fennell, and I really love the way she shoots films and her music choices and her costume choices. I do her style. I really do. Aesthetically, it is always up my alley. The same goes with this film. It was hard to watch though. It's hard to watch. It's meant to be like a good for her movie, but the positions and situations Cassie puts herself in, I feel like those men could at any point easily have caused her great harm or death. I was like, oh, honey, I get why you're doing what you're doing, but oh, that's a doorbell, one sec. Okay, as I was saying, she goes about it in the worst, most dangerous way possible, and it is a film that does depress me, but it's a 4-star film. Do think it's well done. Then there was Bell, Book and Candle. This is an old Hollywood film. This is about a witch who casts a spell on a guy that she fancies to make him fall in love with her. Dude is engaged, and I have issue with that. I'm like, that's not cool, dude. That is not cool. I don't like stuff that removes that person's autonomy and consent. So I didn't find it romantic because also, like a lot of older Hollywood films, the leading man is 25 years older than the leading woman. She's 25, he's 50. Like, come on, man. Like, no. I also felt like she did not have any chemistry with him. I felt more chemistry with her and the actor who played her brother, Jack Lemmon. So he's also a witch in this. And the witches in this world, they cannot cry. They also mustn't ever fall in love. If they fall in love, they lose their powers. The best thing about this movie is that she has a Siamese cat familiar named Pyewacket. Although I do feel like they were being a bit rough with Pyewacket during the filming of this movie. I did hear though that the actress did end up adopting Pyewacket after filming ended, but I ended up giving that a 3 stars. And then I watched Disclosure Day. Oh God, this is about a meteorologist who ends up teaming up with this cyber activity expert as they find themselves at the center of a movement to expose the government's cover-up of extraterrestrial aliens. So Roswell was real. This was so shit. I gave it 2.75 because it was watchable, but I'm like, what was new? What was said that was new? Nothing. I didn't think it was, it was a while ago that I watched it now, but I just remember feeling so disappointed and thinking that just felt shit. And it's not because of the acting. A lot of the characters were just doing dumb things and making stupid choices, and you have to turn your brain off. I remember thinking, you have to turn your brain off, otherwise you're not going to enjoy this movie because this doesn't make sense, that's not logical, yada, yada, yada. And it just felt like a B-grade movie. I don't know what to tell you, 2.75. Then I watched 3,000 Years of Longing. So this is about a doctor named Alethea, played by Tilda Swinton, who ends up finding a magic lamp, and when she rubs that lamp, out pops Idris, who is a jinn, and he offers her 3 wishes, hopefully in return for his freedom. So I loved the start of this movie where Idris was storytelling and telling her the women that he had loved and lost and how he had ended up in this current predicament, trapped in this bottle for thousands of years. But then we get to the point where she finally makes her wish, and that's where it really lost me. Her wish was so fucking gross. As soon as she made her wish, I thought, ew, woman, ew, why are you doing that? That's just not cool. I didn't feel any sexual chemistry either between her and Idris, which you really do need if you want to believe the love story that is in this. But yeah, after her wish, the storytelling just felt really disjointed and rushed. I've given it a 4 stars for the start of the film. Otherwise, it would probably be more like a 3.25, but I'm just choosing to forget everything that happened after she makes her wish. Then I watched Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. So this is about, it's set after the evil empire has fallen, so after the films, and you have Imperial warlords who still remain scattered, who are trying to gain control back of the galaxy, and then you've got the New Republic, who are still trying to sort of find their legs, and they're trying to protect everything that the rebellion was able to fight for and succeed at. And they've enlisted the help of this legendary Mandalorian bounty hunter named, what was his name? Din Djarin, and his young apprentice Grogu. Grogu is so fucking cute, guys. Oh my God. Gave me baby fever. I want to have a baby again thanks to watching Grogu. My God, just adorable. Because the Mandalorians are supposedly never allowed to take their mask off and show their face to people, we don't really get to see Pedro's beautiful face for much of the film. So that is a bummer. But I gave this 4 stars. I thought it was cute. It was heartwarming. It was cool to see a descendant of the Hutt choose a different path for themselves and be a bit of a cycle breaker, so to speak. So yeah, 4 stars. Then I watched The Last Unicorn. So this was a film from my childhood that I remember as a child, it kind of terrified me and scarred me. And I wanted to see, is it as scary as I remember? Is it as depressing? Some of the animated films from the 80s, my guy, like not for kids really. So this one is about a unicorn who finds out she is the last of her kind, and she decides to leave the safety of her forest and try to find the other unicorns. Along the way, she meets a magician named Schmendrick and a woman named Molly Grew, and they join together to help her complete her mission. I'll just leave, I won't say anything else about the story there. The opening credits, I feel like, were illustrated in a way to mimic the unicorn tapestry, which obviously something as a child I did not pick up on, but I thought that was really cool. The butterfly in this too, the character reminded me of the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland. There was a lot of musical montages. Some were great. There were some 80s bangers in there. Walking Man's Road, I think, was one of my favorites, but then there were some that were just a bit cringe and a bit like, oh, we didn't really need to have that one in the movie. Oh, the tree scene, I wrote, oh, I love you, love, 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 love. And I think that's about the booby tree. Which was, yeah, something I also remembered stuck out to me as a child. I think the voice work in this was phenomenal. Very well done. Actors just killed it. I loved the cat in the castle. Iconic. I did absolutely forget about the star-crossed lovers angle. Maybe as a kid, I found that a bit weird and icky, but as an adult, I'm like, when he says, I wish to be whatever she has most need of, I love whom I love. I was like, oh, man, that got me. This was beautiful. 4.5 stars. The scene that terrified me the most was with the harpy and the witch. As a child, I thought it was just a vulture. And then as an adult, I'm like, oh no, that's a mythological creature. The harpy, very cool. But there was obviously a lot of things that went over my head as a child. So it was really cool to watch this again as an adult. And I love this film. Would recommend. And then I watched all the Thor movies with my kids. My favorite is Ragnarok. It is just it is the funniest fucking movie. I love the sense of humor. It's iconic. The kids also, it was their favorite. Although, I'm saying the word iconic a lot, but Russell Crowe's portrayal of Zeus in Thor, God of Love and Thunder, iconic. Goat, chef's kiss, nailed it. His Greek accent was pretty decent as well. Fantastic. It was fun to watch the Thor movies with my kids. Although, yeah, they were shocked at how many characters get killed. And I'm like, yeah, then welcome to the Marvel Universe, bitches. Just because you're a main character don't mean you're going to survive. They were also ragging me out for my obsession with Loki. They're like, of course, Mum, you're obsessed with the zesty guy. Yes, always. So those were all the films I watched. TV. Indy and I watched all of season 2 of, I say Freren, they pronounce it Frieren, but we'll just say Freren because that's what I'm used to, which is based on the manga about sort of an immortal elf who was once part of a hero's quest, and those original members of the quest, most of them have died, and she's now amassed herself a new crew and is just trying to accrue magical knowledge whilst also helping people along the way, because that's what Himmel the hero would have done. We love it. We love this series. Indy does not support all of my ships except for Ubal and Four Eyes. So we don't agree with that stuff. Watching the hero of the South scene had me bawling. I cried when I read it in the book, and I was absolutely devastated watching it on the screen. I believe one of his iconic line was something along the veins of, "The world will only become a better place if men plant trees whose shade they will never sit in." But flowers for Hero of the South, man. I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. I will say too, in the series, I now have a massive crush on Metoda. I think that's her name, Metoda. In the book, I didn't really think anything of her, but in the show, I'm like, she can pat my hair as much as she likes. So that was just a fun time. We're looking forward to season 3. But Indiana is now starting to read the manga because she wants to know what happens. And I was like, well, if you can't wait for the next season, read. Then we've got books. Books, I read 48 books. My average ended up being a 3.2, which is low because I was reading a lot for themed vlogs, which tends to mean I will push through books that I'm not enjoying for the vlog, especially for the booker. So yeah, I'm probably going to be going to do less themed vlogs and just mood read for a while, so I'm not tanking my enjoyment. But out of the 48 books I read, the best book that I read was Why I Love Horror by Becky Siegel Spratford. I did give that a 4.5. It's a nonfiction featuring a slew of horror authors and why they love horror. The best cover, I would have to give it to A Certain Hunger. I love classic art, and I think the cover does suit what's going on in the book. So that's my favorite cover. Perfume, this month's perfume review, I am reviewing Daddy by Pedrisat. This has banana, cardamom, cinnamon, jasmine, and tobacco. It is warm and sticky. It smells like dessert eaten with your fingers in a dimly lit private office whilst wearing a corset pantsuit. It is decadent, intimate, and a bit taboo. It smells like someone calling you something you probably shouldn't like, but do. I enjoyed it, but it ended up drying down too masculine for me, so it's not one that I would wear. Purchases. I'm just going to put pictures up. I forgot to grab it. Actually, no, let me go grab it. I'll do it last. One purchase I made. This little Kobo clicker page turner. I freaking love this. So you just turn this on here, and then you just click this button to turn the page. This also tells you how much battery life is left in it before you need to charge it. So at night now, I'm completely hands-free. I prop it up and I have my hands under the covers because it is winter, and I just go click, 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 click when I turn the page. And it has just brought so much ease to my life. It is just a small little thing. I try not to buy a lot of stuff. I don't like having a lot of stuff. At one stage, I was an extreme minimalist. But this is absolutely useful and handy and is a purchase I'm very, very happy with. So absolutely love that. Obviously, I bought a new fridge, Wesley. And look, it's not as big as my old fridge was. I just couldn't afford to buy the same size fridge as I previously had. And I thought it'd be fine. But even though it is also a 2-door, the amount of freezer space is significantly less than what I used to have. And I'm the sort of shopper where I only like to go once a week. And so I tend to buy organic veggies and fruits and meats and freeze them and then just defrost them as I need them. However, this fridge has more fridge space, less freezer space, and so I'm going to have to change the way I shop and do more than one shop a week and less freezer food. So I don't love that. In the future, I would hopefully prefer, I'll have to keep in mind when I purchase, actually go in person and see how much freezer space they have rather than just buying online. But it'll do for now, and hopefully it lasts a long time. I also bought some Honey Birdette tights. They were having a 3 for 2 sale, so I thought, sure, why not? So I got these shears, so just sheer stay-ups with a thick black tight, but then I did get one. So I thought, all right, if I feel like I've got a lot of bandwidth to make sure it's aligned, I got these ones. I just love the stripe up the top. And then I got these. These are white. I didn't have a pair of white, and so I wanted them. I do have to get a white garter belt though to hold them up. So 3 for 2 Honey Birdette tights, wunderbar. What else? Oh, a new vacuum. So my Doris has just dropped it off for me. She picked it up for me and brought it. So I'll let you know how it goes. I'll put the vacuum I got here. Maya was having like a big sale, so I got it for a big discount, thank God. And we'll see how it goes. My last vacuum only lasted 2 years and it no longer sucks. It just spits everything out. We've pulled it apart, thoroughly cleaned it, and it's just no suction, and just regurgitating anything that I try to vacuum just gets spit out. So that didn't last very long, but those were the big purchases. And then I got a book. I'm just going to put photos up. I can't bother getting it. I got myself a special edition of Lord of the Rings. This has the whole trilogy in one book. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite series of all time. As a teenager, I was absolutely obsessed with it. I would read it 3 times a year. My first Hotmail account was in Quenya, which is the Elvish language. I think it was Minque Nilme, which is 11 love. I was a huge nerd. And then when the movies came out, oh my God, Arwen and Legolas, so in love. I have determined that my type is Elvish. If you look like you could play an elf, male or female, you're my type. That's the type I go for. Yeah. And so both of them were just, I was obsessed even more. So I thought, let me get a special version of this book, and I did, and it's got pictures, it's got sprayed edges. I don't love the cover, to be honest. I just don't feel like a white cover suits Lord of the Rings, but I did get a special edition, so that is what I purchased. I think that's everything. I'm going to finish this off with the tarot deck that I worked with this month and a little reading for the month of August, so that's all from me. Okay, so these are the decks I worked with. We have the Cozy Witch Tarot deck by Amanda Lovelace, art by Janina Medeiros, and then here we have Alchemy of the Spirit. This is by Cristina Gonzalez. Let's just take some of these off so it's a more of an even match. This was the card I received the most. Do I feel like I had a lot of good luck this month? Yeah, I don't know. I think it was an even balance. I had some things, unfortunate things happened, but then afterwards I was still able to recover really quickly and bounce back. So I guess that's the good luck. This month I needed self-care, cozy, gentle, nurturing, like a warm cup of hot cocoa decks. I was so fragile and dealing with so much that I just needed reassurance. I needed someone to hold my hand and tell me every little thing's going to be all right. And that's what these decks are. They're very positive and optimistic. They're very easily understood and relatable, especially the Cozy Witch. They sum up the energy of the card with just a very simple sentence, and they're just personable. I guess I can call these my sort of grandma decks, you know, when I just want some nurturing and some cuddles and some warm chicken soup and some cozy socks and just to sit in front of a fireplace and knit. That I needed that energy in decks. And normally I switch out my decks every week, but I just kept these 2 the whole month. I really needed them. I really needed them. So they were my support decks for this month. The color palette too is just warm and cozy. It's nice to have in winter. We're in the midst of winter right now, so seeing these warm toned soft hues also added a little warmth to my day. But yeah, I used these babies for the whole month, and I absolutely enjoyed my time with them, and they gave me what I needed, and they told me what I needed to know in a loving, kind way. So these were my decks. I think I will end. So I'm going to end this video off with a card pulls for the month of August, just a general reading. Okay, general reading for the month of August. We have the Queen of Wands. Replace your self-doubt with self-confidence. I stopped being insecure a long time ago. We all have our own list of imperfections, don't we? Instead of trying to do the impossible by fixing them, I just dress them up nice and dance with them, the Queen says to you. Isn't it so much more fun that way? This card can represent an adult or someone of any age with a flirty and fearsome personality that both fascinates and frightens everyone in their midst. They're fully confident in who they are and who they've been, so don't bother trying to shame them. They'll do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it. This card may very well be your sign to muster up some bravery and do something bold and gutsy. And we've got it paired with the bunny. Spirit of potential. Your time will come. The spirit of the bunny asks you to recognize your potential as well as your limitations. You have the potential within your heart to expand as a bright star, but first you must humble yourself. Recognize that you are always an apprentice and there is still much to learn. Seek your place in the world and surround yourself with beings from whom you can learn and let yourself be guided. You come to the world with the divine wisdom within you, but it is your task to remember how to access this knowledge. You have all the tools you need to achieve success, but you must first start at the bottom and kindly work your way up. Be patient. Don't rush yourself and move in synchronicity with the forces of the universe, knowing that everything has its right time. Be kind to yourself. You are doing the best you can with the wisdom you have at the moment, and that is enough. Developing potential, practicing, finding patience, learning, cultivating yourself. That's everything, guys. Let's have a fucking stellar month of August. Until next time, stay wild, Star Child.